Afternoon, I'm Max Brantley. It's Friday. I think it's November 14th. I had a little trouble with the date yesterday. I hope I got it right today. Notice my little neck tag here I'm showing off. This gets me admission to some of the events at the Clinton Library's 10th birthday, which is underway in town today. There's really been a star-studded lineup of people participating in an all-day series of panels about the Clinton administration, foreign policy, economic policy, domestic policy. I was listening to a lot of people praising Wesley Clark in a panel he was on this morning for the actions he did in leading NATO in the war in Kosovo, which was one of the signature achievements of the Clinton administration. I think one of the most interesting things that happened this morning was the news that the Quapaw tribe of Oklahoma, an Indian tribe which has roots in Arkansas, had turned up as a sponsor of the big concert that's going to be held at the library tomorrow night as part of the 10th birthday festivities. It says it wants to contribute to the economic vitality that the library has brought to Little Rock. Interesting about the Quapaw tribe, they've recently bought 160 acres near the Little Rock port. They operate a casino in Oklahoma. I think they're at work on a public relations initiative to become big corporate citizens in Arkansas, and the chief of their tribe did not rule out in an interview this morning with Leslie Peacock that, yeah, they're considering potentially building a casino here, so that could be a very interesting political issue. They do have some significant land full of Indian treasures, archaeologically speaking, out in this land, so they have a real tie there. At the state capitol today, the Senate's reorganizing. Jonathan Dismang was elected president pro tem as expected, not without a tremendous amount of criticism from some leading Tea Party type Republicans in Arkansas about both Dismang and the new House Speaker, Jeremy Gillum, because they just are too friendly to Democrats. Debbie Pelley in Jonesboro, name one, just doesn't like it. One of the most interesting things that will happen today, and check our arkansasblog.com later today to see how it turns out, will be Senate committee assignments. I think the Democrats have a chance to pack some membership because of their seniority advantage on a couple of committees. They're not going to win any big battles, but they can influence them a great deal with some strong committee positions, and so we'll be watching that. Interesting news on the Arkansas blog today about Mike Huckabee's trip to Poland and England. He's taking some political and religious leaders. They're thought to be influential in 2016 presidential politicking. That's why he's taking them there on this trip. Along for the ride is a guy named Floyd Brown. If you don't know that name, you should. He's one of the most disreputable political operators in the land. He did the Willie Horton ad. He led Citizens United. He led the dirt digging operation during the infamous Whitewater days. If he's linked up with Mike Huckabee, that's about all you need to know about a Mike Huckabee candidacy. The Beebe pardon continues to draw controversy, not just his recommendation for a pardon for a sex offender, but also his plans to pardon his own son on a marijuana conviction. Great reporting last night by Jason Peterson at KATV, which found a person with an identical circumstance to Mike Beebe's son, a pot conviction in 2003, an application for a pardon actually pending longer than Kyle Beebe's has been. He's gotten no pardon word. Mike Beebe's son has. Do you think the answer might be somewhere in the relationship? I think, of course, it does. Interesting thing I dug up on Twitter today, Senator Bart Hester, former Razorback baseball player, is heaping abuse on the University of Arkansas and promising economic retaliation and votes against their budget. This apparently in response to Chancellor J. David Gearhart's opposition to the Fayetteville Chamber of Commerce's position against the Fayetteville Civil Rights Ordinance. This is the ordinance. It's controversial because it's about gay rights. I'd recommend you look at arkansasblog.com also for a good piece that Benji Hardy did last night about teachers' insurance. The big fund that pays for teachers' insurance benefits is sound, which is good news. The bad news is the rates are still sky high. Teachers simply can't afford them. The legislature really needs to do something, but there's a big question on whether they will or not. The most talked about item of the day is a funny, sad thing, I think. In the little town of Poland down in Grant County, people are up in arms because there's a teacher who has a hard time getting child care. She's brought her infant child to school a time or two where she teaches in high school. A couple of times she's had to go to the back of the room and in a careful, discreet way breastfeed her child. This has people in Poland outraged, and actually quite a few people are outraged at the people who are outraged. So there is that. Finally, I have this big scoop from my day yesterday at the governor's mansion for the Political Animals Club. I've learned from a very good source that it will not be a return of the Huckabee administration when Asa Hutchinson takes office. Wine will be served at the governor's mansion. So we'll need to do some drinking during the next 4 years, I think. I'm Max Brantley. That's it for this week. I'll be back Monday.